So this is just an early morning or early rising fireside chat now, as I guess I'd call them now, the fireside chats. This message is going to be specifically for the girls and the ladies, the women, the sisters, those of you, those of us who have a womb. And I'm making this video because I feel the energy, not just within my own body, but I sense the energy also of, the different women in the collective that resonate with this energy. And one of the things that is coming to me right now is just specifically for those who have had fatherhood and abandonment issues when it comes to fathers and men in your lives. And also those of you who have been seated, and I'll go into that in more detail, but seated with the energy of infertility. And let me explain what I mean by that. I don't necessarily mean that you cannot bear physical children if that is what you desire. But I'm speaking more so about the energy, meaning there is something within your energetic field that it's like you work and work, or you do all of these things to birth something, to birth a project or whatever into the physical reality. But before it can actually be birthed or brought to fruition, something happens that stops the birth, or the healthy birth, I should say, of whatever that project or that manifestation is, right? And so that may be an energetic miscarriage, meaning that the energy wasn't able to be carried to the full term. And I know that this may be sensitive to some folks who may have experienced miscarriages when it comes to actual children. And this is not made, the purpose of this video is not to trigger that emotion, because I can only imagine how difficult it must be in that situation. And so I certainly send you my love and all of that. But like I said, this is more so about the energy, because before it becomes a physical child, there is an energy that is within your soul, within your spirit, within your body, that is carried, right? And one of the things that can happen sometimes is, we find ourselves with a partner who is not in the same energy as we are when we are, manifesting that child or manifesting that vision. And I really want to talk about that, because I don't really hear many people talking about that. But one of the things that can happen, my loves, is if you are someone who is birthing ideas and you're very, your womb is very creative. Obviously your womb is your womb is creation, the creation portal, right? Not just your womb as in, your ovaries and, all of that kind of stuff, but also your mouth, right? You speak and create. You're able to speak and create and bring things into the physical reality when your higher chakras, to include your throat chakra, which is your voice and all of that, right? When that is in balance with the lower chakras, the as above, so below, you're able to actually bring things into physical manifestation, into the physical reality. But sometimes we are involved in partnerships and relationships with folks who don't have that same vision or that same goal, and you guys aren't working toward the same thing. And so something that can happen is, rather than that person actually adding to that manifestation that you're trying to birth, they're actually taking from your creative energy. Because remember, men are not portals. Now, they can speak and create if they know how to do so, But generally speaking, the energy of the womb, being able to tap into that 0 point, that womb, is what they need to be able to bring forth life. Do you see what I'm saying? Into the physical reality. They need a portal. And that portal is generally a woman, a womb. I mean, it is what it is. One of the things that I've found is that when you are with someone who, say for instance, you are a woman and you are sexually involved with a man who is not interested in having children. Obviously, I'm not saying that this is the case in all situations, but I'm telling you this is how one and one can come together to birth something. And depending on what they are, setting out to birth, or whatever the strongest energy is, will prevail, right? So, just take a sip of my coffee, y'all. So, what happens is, you're with someone who you envision life one way. Like, you envision life, kids, white picket fence, the whole nine. But you are with a man who does not want that, right? And so when you all are coming together sexually, you may be manifesting that in your reality. But if his willpower is stronger than yours, then what ends up happening is he ends up seeding you with the energy of infertility. And what I mean by that is, you may experience infertility in your actual womb of birth, right? Your actual womb portal. But in addition to that, you can sometimes experience infertility when it comes to life in general. Meaning, you may have all of these great ideas and plans and all of these things, but you start seeing a pattern whereby the energy that he has seeded in your field can be so strong that it's as if you're able to bring things down from the heavens, if you may, from the higher realms, but it's never quite able, you're never quite able to bring it forth into the physical reality. Do you see what I'm saying? Something stops it along the way, right? And so this is what I'm talking about today, because it's necessary to cleanse that energy from your womb, from your space, from your auric field, so that you can gain control of your womb energy and your womb codes. Because one of the things that I know that I was not taught, and I've never heard taught until recently, is just about womb codes. But if you know, you know. And if you have heard this, and if this is resonating with you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are those of us who are on this earth, or who walk this realm, who know that we hold sacred codes in our womb, meaning the codes of remembrance, meaning exactly what I'm talking about right now. Some of us remember these truths, right? And I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all, because this is just these are the things that I know at this point. One of the things that I saw in my own life that was blocking that energy was, for me, religion, and placing my energy into the realm of the patriarchal, masculine centered deity. Because what that did for me is that stopped me from being able to see the divine within me. Do you see what I'm saying? And from that, I had to overcome all sorts of issues dealing with self-worth and self-esteem and all of that kind of stuff, and really focusing my energy and placing my energy external to the fact that I started creating God outside of me within a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what that did is that had me staying in situations longer than I should have, right? Longer than I should have, because I was seeing the God in them, but not seeing the God in me, if that makes sense, right? And so that was something that I really, really, really had to overcome. And so I know that I'm not the only woman who's ever had to deal with that. And in particular, This is something that I see with women who have had abandonment issues when it comes to their fathers and, things like that. So this is why I wanted to have this in-depth conversation about this. Now, I also wrote a decree that I'm going to read for you all right now. And this is a decree to actually, a decree of flow and fertile restoration of the womb. This decree will be available on my website at thetishahillman.com. And what you can do is you can actually, if you want to, you can purchase the decree. You can purchase the decree for $5. And if you want me to just email it to me, and so that you can get it, you can get it faster. Actually, no, let me think about that for a second. Okay. So this is what we can do. If you want the decree, you can send a cash app to Maat, M-A-A-T, just us, Justus, right? You can send it, and I will send you the decree. And like I said, it's I'm going to do it for $5. And what we'll do is we'll email it, because it also has an image that I had generated for this purpose, because I've done a lot of work on all of these things that I'm speaking to you all about. And so I have actually, different things that I'm working on to go more in depth with that, to help folks really, really work through these energies. Because like I said, this is what I'm seeing is a blockage it has been a blockage for me. And so I know it's been a blockage for a lot of women. And so as we are embarking on this new earth journey, this new reality, I want to make sure that the ghosts of the past, if you may, are able to finally be put to rest, right? And so that is all these childhood wounds and all of these things that have kept you in a state that feels like a perpetual state of scarcity, lack, insecurity, failure to thrive, right? These all sound like malnourishment energies, because that's exactly what it is. It's where your energy has actually been siphoned, used, and depleted, right? By those you've given your willpower, either knowingly or unknowingly, right? In order for them to use your willpower, for them to bring forth something in creation. Now, here's the thing. In a healthy relationship, there's nothing wrong with give and take, because this is how men are able to take, to use and to work with the energy of the feminine, because it brings, the masculine and feminine energies together in balance. That enables a man to be able to use the energy of the feminine, to be able to manifest, to take his energy, to take that energy out into the physical world, right? Because the woman's creative powers are within, right? Like the coochie, right? And the reproductive organs. Ours is internal. For the man, their energy is external. So they take that energy into the world and create. But when you are with so let me just say this. In a healthy dynamic where you all are on the same page and you are quote unquote equally yoked, then what happens is that energy manifests even faster, because now you are actually working on the same team for the same purpose, right? With the same objective. And so with that energy is able to be used, and he's able to take that energy and go and take the steps necessary to bring forth that vision for the both of you and for your collective realities. And so you see what I'm saying, what happens when you are with someone who that's not what they want, because then they're able to use your energy to manifest the life that they want for themselves, maybe with someone, themselves alone, but whatever the case, it don't include you, right? So that's what we're putting it into, right? And so that's what this decree allows you to do. It allows you to call back your energy, to call back your power. And if you hear me just yell all of a sudden, it's because Oreo is in the basement with me and he is looking for stuff to get into. Oreo, come from over there. He always looking for stuff. He's a dog, so he always looking for stuff to get into. So anyway, without further ado, this is the decree of flow and fertile restoration. by the living current within and the sacred waters that move through all things. I now call forth the dissolution of every dam, block, and stagnation in the waters of my body, my lineage, and my life. Let the inner waters remember their freedom. Let fertility return as the natural pulse of creation. Let every cell, womb, and seed of potential awaken to the rhythm of divine renewal. As the rivers run to the sea, so shall all resources, nourishment, and wealth find their rightful course toward me and through me. Where fear or control once constricted flow, I summon release. Where scarcity or trauma once hardened the channels, I invite warmth and movement. I am the living vessel of abundance. I am the river made whole. Money flows as water, birth flows as light, and life itself flows without resistance. By the authority of my own soul and the harmony of natural law and the laws of my aunt, this decree stands full and filled in all realms and dimensions, seen and unseen, above and below, within and without. And so it is. Whew. So what we're going to do, y'all, I hope that y'all felt and experienced a shift in your flow. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to burn and release this energy. And allow the flow and the fertile restoration. And if you have, if you want to, let me back up for a second. If you are experiencing blockages in your chakras, what I want you to do is really sit in meditation with yourself, right? And take a look at where you are feeling discomfort, right? Where you're experiencing any sort of pain, where you're experiencing blockages, right? And wherever that is, I'd like for you to put that in the comment section. The reason being is because what I'd like to do is then to create something whereby we can go through the primary blockages that people are sensing and feeling in order to remove the blockages. Now, if you know specifically what that energy is and you're looking for tools to do that, then you can go to my other website at www.consciouscreations.live. That is my channel and my platform where I actually make products for such things, right? I make products and herbs and all sorts of things for helping folks on their spiritual journey or their journey of life. And so there you can actually find chakra balancing oils. You can get them individually, or you can order the entire set. And right now it's a set of 7, the 7 primary chakras. So, but what we're talking about with flow and restoration is we're talking specifically about the root chakra, which deals with safety and security and stability. And we're also talking about the energy of creativity and creation, which would be the sacral chakra. So those would be the 2 primary chakras if we're dealing with this particular energy. Okay, I'll play with your ball in just a minute, okay? But you can order that also on the website. I also have chakra balancing tuning forks. So if you would like to work with either of these things, you can do that. There's also herbs, oils, all sorts of things that you can use to help you along this journey in balancing these particular energies. So I'm so grateful, y'all, and looking forward to seeing all of your wealth, all of your energy being returned and restored to its rightful place within you. And y'all, listen, if you are interested in doing deeper dives and deeper work, and if you are a woman on your journey, and if you are serious about really working through some of these blockages and things, and you're really ready to take the steps to do that, then we are building this collective that is called the Goddess Temple. You can join the Goddess Temple. It's $69 a month, and we work through these things, right? Because like I said, the reason I am able to share with you all what I'm sharing is because these are the very things that I've had to work through, as well as help other folks to work through, in my legal practice. Because those of you who have been following me for quite some time, you know that I spent many years as an attorney, and I'm still a licensed attorney, but many years as an attorney helping folks in all manner of cases, including domestic issues like domestic violence, family law, so divorce, child support, custody, and really dealing with those issues, right? So now what I'm doing is working with folks to get to the root cause. And this is why I'm doing this work, because I recognize that if you're not able to get to the root of these issues, then what, and really heal that, then what happens is these same issues just get projected and perpetuated in another experience. And rather than having a life that feels like it's on a perpetual loop of suffering, struggle, failed relationships, poverty, scarcity, whatever your experience has been, right? Healing that, I know that if you have the chance and you have the tools, you'd want to work to heal that, to have a different outcome in life. And so that's what I'm offering, the opportunity for you to have support working on these issues so that you can create a better reality for yourself and for your family. So anyway, y'all, www.thetishahillman.com, where you can order the decree, as well as join the Goddess Temple. And you can go to www.consciouscreations.live, where you can order the tuning forks, chakra oils, herbs, teas, and anything else that you find there to help you on your spiritual journey. And what I'm going to do for anyone who does order one of the decrees, then I will be offering, you'll have 20% off for the entire month of November on anything at the consciouscreations.live store. So until next time, y'all, love yourself well, because you deserve it.